Good morning. Today we will be looking at the evolution of Pan-Cordilleran identity, otherwise known as Igorot identity. In this presentation, we have chosen to use the term Pan-Cordilleran to describe the indigenous people of the Cordilleran region, in acknowledgement of the sensitivity of the term Igorot being used by outsiders. I will now pass on to Jess, who will discuss the history and origin of the constructed identity Igorot.
The Pan-Cordillera Indigenous identity has been historically misrepresented and simplified. The construction of the identity originated during Spanish colonization and was later adopted by the American administrators, as well as reinforced by lowlanders. The term Igorot was used to describe all the northern indigenous tribes and categorize them into one identity instead of multiple distinct identities, in order to differentiate them from the lowlanders. The experiences and observations of outsiders led to perpetuated images and accounts of savage, cannibalistic headhunters.
Throughout colonial administrative regimes, the Igorot identity was contested by indigenous peoples of the Cordillera region. The proposition of the Chico River Dam and Sellafield logging projects saw an awakening and mobilization of a pan-Cordilleran identity, particularly in the pursuit of indigenous land rights and self-determination, and in more recent times, cultural preservation. This was illustrated on our trip to the Cordilleran region through lectures, cultural dances, and conversations with Minnie, which highlighted the present nature of the pan-Cordilleran identity.
Through reflection on our time in the Philippines, the lectures we attended, and engagement with local people and their stories, we can see connections between the constructed, imposed group identity of Indigenous Australians and Indigenous people of the Cordillera region. Now showing on the screen are two maps, one of Australia and one of the Cordillera. As you can see from these maps, of the ethno-linguistic groups of Australia and the Cordillera, a great number of distinct groups are essentialised through a singular umbrella term, i.e. Igorot or Aboriginal.
Through analysis, we can see a similar mobilisation of group identity when looking at the coming together of Indigenous Australian groups in the push for establishing a treaty over the past 40 years in Australia. The constructed collective identities of Igorots and Aboriginal people can be seen to be employed as common political identities in times of struggle.
When moving into the future, contemporary challenges shaping the Pan-Cordilleran identity are debates of political autonomy and the rapid transformation of indigeneity in terms of lifestyle practices and migration trends. Due to the Indigenous groups present, the Cordillera is currently an administrative region. Today, the Cordilleran region still struggles for political autonomy. Becoming an administrative region was supposed to be a stepping stone towards autonomy. However, the previous two plebiscites have failed. Conversations had on the trip shed light on this. It seemed that becoming an autonomous region wasn't considered necessary by the majority of people who were subsistence farmers. Through further research, studies show that the people of the region were either misinformed or unaware of the benefits of becoming autonomous and had a lack of political interest. The reconstruction of the Pan-Cordillera identity through autonomy is challenged by political and social division, due to the fact that the Cordillera is made up of 5 distinct ethno-linguistic groups and many individual stakeholders. The main protagonists of the Pan-Cordilleran unity and autonomy have been the Cordilleran People's Alliance. Due to their liberal nature, they are often misconstrued as being connected with the communists, which is unattractive to many Cordillerans due to the government forces fighting incursions by communists in Mindanao.
Whilst with IPRA there is an ability for Indigenous people to make claim for ancestral domain and title, there is a lot of rules and bureaucracy around the making of such claims for Cordillerans. Regional autonomy may address this insecurity and give power to the Cordillerans in regards to decision-making and the running of the region. Looking again to the Mindanao Autonomous Region and the conflicts and militarization there, autonomy seems like a pretty unattractive option without a solid articulation of how it would play out. Along with struggles for autonomy, Indigenous and pan-Cordilleran identity is challenged as people move away from more custom roles, which have in the past been akin to indigeneity, to more urbanized lifestyles influenced by global trends. How this plays out will have a direct impact on the reconstruction and evolution of Indigenous identities within the Cordilleran region.